Hi guys, I'm just going to quickly show you how to do square stitch in beading, and this stitch mimics beading done on a loom the most. So this one can be used for, the patterns for one can be used for the other, which I will show in later videos. But I've just got my stopper bead on, which is just threaded through once and then looped around and threaded through again. So it does move, but it stops the beads falling off. So in this case, I'm doing 3 beads across for the width of my bracelet. So I'm only picking up 3 beads, but you'll pick up as many beads as you need for the width of your bracelet. In smaller beads, you'd have more beads across, wouldn't you? Because I'm using a wider, a large bead to show this to you guys. It's I'm only needing 3 beads, but if smaller beads you need more to get to the size you want. You'll calculate it yourself. Right, so you pick up your 3 beads, and now you're going to pick up just the 1 bead, and this bead is going to sit on top of this first bead here. So what we're going to do for that is we're going to take it in from the back and out the front like that. And then we're just going to pull that along. Ooh, don't pull it out your hand. There we go. Now slide it all the way back down. Has it moved? But you can see, you got to be careful because the stopper bead doesn't stop it sliding if you pull it. So careful not to do that. But this bead now sits just on top of that bead. Can you see? There's the 2, that one sits on top. And so we've come out of this bottom one. We need to go back into this top bead, which is the one you've just added. So we're just going to pull that through and hopefully not pull out your hands this time. There. This gets more stable as you go. It's just a little fiddly to start with. So now we're going to pick up 1 more bead, and it's going to sit on top of this bead. So this is the middle one. So this is the bead we need to go in. Just that 1 bead. So we're going to go in the back and out the front, just like before. But you're only ever going in the bead that you're wanting the new bead to sit on top of. Give it a little pull to keep it in place. Your thread you want to encourage to sit up between those 2 beads now, because we're going to go back through that bead we've just put on, so that we're now sticking the other side of the bead. And now we've got 1 more bead to go on to get things. We grab our next bead, and we're going to want it to sit on top of this bead, so we go through the back, out the front, making sure we're just going in that bead, none of the rest, and we pull that through. There, and that's naturally wanting to sit on top there. So we're going to take that up, and again we're going to go back through that top bead, the one we just added, so that we are on the end, ready for the next row. So you do that for as many times as you have beads. When you get to the end, you're going to literally just turn it around, so your last bead has now become your first bead. And again, we're going to grab 1 bead, and we're going to repeat the process. So we're going to go, we want it to sit on top of this bead, so we are going to go into the back of that bead and out the front. So you're always taking the needle in the opposite direction of where you're coming out. So if you're coming out this side, you're always going to go in that side, so that you're not unthreading. Pull that up. And then again, we're going to want to go back through that bead we've just added to line it up, so we're back in the place to add the next bead. So you should always be finishing sticking out towards where you want to add the next bead. So we're going to grab the next bead, and we want that one to sit on the middle here. So we are going to grab through the back and out the front, pull it along, give it a good tight snug because you want it to stay put. And then we're going to go back through that bead again, so that we are now sat in the right place for the next bead. Grab the next bead, and we want it to sit on top of that one, so we're going to go in the back and out the front, making sure you're only going through that 1 bead. And then we're going to go up, so the thread goes up between the middle, so that we can then feed back through that bead we've just added. And now we're lined up. And as you get further up, it gets more stable. This one, because the end's loose, it's a little unstable at the first. Don't worry about that, because when we weave in this end, that will stabilize those ones. So again, we're going to turn the work. Grab a bead. I'm going to go in this one, because this is one we want to sit above. And then we're going to go back through that one. And I said, the more rows you do, the more stable it gets. So don't worry if it's a little fiddly at first. Just going to keep going, adding one bead at a time, going through the bead you want it to sit above. Make sure you keep a good tension, because you want to keep them in line. So always make sure you use a good thread. I'm using Fireline here. This is £4 Fireline. Just gotta be careful, my tail end is there. So we're gonna pull that out of the way. I have it doubled over so it's less to pull, but that tail end's now getting into this, so we need to move it. But I'm just gonna do one more bead, and that's all we need to do. That should be enough to show you what we're doing. So I'm gonna pull that through. Make sure you keep it good tight and go through. And there, pull it. And you see how that's now forming up in nice rows. Just, you can give them a little fiddle to make sure they stay straight and keep your tension. This will tighten up, and that one will tighten up when we do this end one. So don't worry too much if your bottom row is a little loose. But this is all you need to do to create square stitch, and you'll see how those are going in the same sort of line and direction. The beads are orientated in the same way they would be if they were on a bead loom. So this is a great way to create the same look if you don't have a bead loom. You can do any pattern that you can do on the bead loom, you should be able to do in these. It's just a matter of replacing the beads just like you do on the loom. So I hope that's helpful, and check back soon for more tutorials.